The thing that everybody is talking about is Tank came out and said he was going to retire. Is that really happening?
That's his decision.
Yeah.
That's his decision. I can understand where he's coming from, though. I totally can understand.
Like, I don't have a house on an island. Y'all won't see me again type shit.
Dude, Tank doesn't punch that hard. Tank really doesn't punch that hard. It's just he lands a clean shot, and a lot of us are either too small or completely dehydrated.
Leonard Ellerbe dropped a bombshell revelation about Gervonta "Tank" Davis's potential 2025 retirement, citing the sport's toxic culture of unrelenting criticism. No matter how many knockouts, how many belts, fans always want more, the Mayweather Promotions CEO explained. Ellerbe suggested the constant scrutiny is draining Davis, who's considering walking away at just 30 despite being in his physical prime. This shocking disclosure highlights boxing's brutal paradox: its stars are both worshipped and never fully appreciated.
Completely changed his life. He's definitely very confident that he looks at a lot of things differently now than he did probably 6-7 years ago. You know, and that's the whole maturation process of men and women. You know, you grow as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that probably has a lot to do with his mindset.
So he is serious about retiring.
If that's what he said.
Yeah.
And we all heard it.
Yeah.
Right.
He hasn't told you anything about it?
No.
When you first heard it, was you shocked or you kind of...
Not at all.
You knew it was coming?
Well, because boxing is different. Boxing is different. It's different. The fans, not all, but they're never going to be satisfied. I'm just being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Damn right.
It's never good enough what you do.
Yeah, no matter what you do.
And so sometimes that can be frustrating, annoying, but his decision is more about what he said it was about. You know, it's more to life than just something that you do for a living.
Yeah, and the fans don't want you
They think that because, you know, and you have a lot of respect for the fans who pay that hard-earned money to see you fight.
Yep.
But you have a life outside of boxing.
Yeah.
Davis's retirement plans have taken an unexpected turn following his controversial draw against Lamont Roach. Initially set to hang up his gloves in 2025, the lackluster performance and subsequent fan backlash have lit a new fire under the champion. That draw was a wake-up call, revealed a camp insider. Tank realized he can't leave with that being his last impression. The setback has transformed Davis's timeline from retirement tour to redemption arc.
To ask you, earlier in the year you spoke about retiring after 2025. How does a result that maybe you weren't expecting or a result that you didn't think you deserved maybe change the course of your plans for your future?
Yeah, it definitely changed my plans. It definitely changed my plans. I probably got like 4 more fights now, for sure.
The harshest criticism centers on Davis's carefully curated resume. Despite his 29-0 record, boxing purists point to glaring omissions, namely Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. He's collecting paychecks, not legacies, argued one prominent analyst. This cherry-picking narrative has gained steam, with fans increasingly viewing Davis as a protected champion rather than a true risk-taker in the mold of his mentor Mayweather.
Holds all the cards, you know, he's the cash cow, he's the one, like I said, who makes these fights happen. I just think that he should go on ahead and move forward and fight Shakur, and put that Lamont Roach fight on hold. That fight will be there. Lamont Roach is not going anywhere. Lamont Roach now has a lot of fame, a lot of notoriety after this fight. In my opinion, I think that Tank should just move on, go forward, and fight Shakur Stevenson and give the fans what they want to see.
Shakur Stevenson's growing frustration has become impossible to ignore. The WBC champ recently blasted stalled negotiations, stating, "I can't put my career on hold waiting for Tank to grow a spine." Stevenson's comments cut deep, framing Davis as the obstacle to boxing's most compelling matchup. Behind the scenes, promotional rivalries and network alliances have created a perfect storm preventing this super fight from materializing.
I mean, if he want to retire with the career that he got, then go ahead and do whatever you got to do. So I disagree with it. I think it's soft, but that's on him.
Do you still think that fight's possible? I know he might have a break after that fight with Lamont Roach, but do you feel like you guys could fight 2025 or 2026?
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't into chasing people around. I mean, if he's willing to fight, I'm ready to fight, and I think it should happen. But I ain't gonna lie, I can't sit there and chase you, and then, you know, he could try to make it seem as though I need him, and I don't need him.
Davis fired back at his critics with trademark defiance. "What's Shakur done to deserve me?" This dismissive response only intensified debate about what truly constitutes a worthy opponent in today's boxing landscape. While Stevenson boasts Olympic pedigree and technical mastery, Davis's team argues his commercial drawing power elevates him above resume comparisons.
Who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than him.
Who that?
The Keyshawn. Keyshawn looking way more better than this. I keep screaming his name. He haven't done nothing. Keyshawn haven't even done nothing.
So what do you say to those who
I
might
keep
be
saying his
afraid?
name for.
So what do you say to those who might be saying that, you know, Tank is afraid of Shakur?
Afraid of what? Afraid of what? Us fighters, if we're afraid of somebody, it gotta be somebody hitting us and hurting us. Like, he don't have no offense. Everything is defense. Defense only win in basketball and football. That shit win in boxing.
Ellerbe came to Davis's defense regarding the Teofimo Lopez matchup, revealing the hidden complexities of making super fights. "It's not about fear, it's about aligning multiple billion-dollar entities," he explained, referencing the tangled web of promoters, networks, and sanctioning bodies that complicate negotiations. His comments peeled back the curtain on why the best fights rarely happen when fans want them.
I'm very, very confident Tank beats all those guys. All those guys. You name, any of them you name, Tank can beat them.
Where would a fight with like a Devin Haney or a Teofimo Lopez sort of sit on the grand scheme of his schedule?
I don't think that you can put a timeline on that kind of stuff because the big fights happen when they really make sense for both sides. And, you know, I know the fans get a little impatient at times, and that's understandable because they don't really understand how the business goes. You know, Tank's coming off of a fight where, you know, he's made tens of millions of dollars, and Tank alone has been generating, you know, 8-figure revenue every single fight. Tank makes you an offer, it's probably not going to be what you expect because you get paid on what you kind of weigh. Tank is here, and the other guys are there, and I'm solely talking about generating.
The Devin Haney fantasy fight faces similar roadblocks. While both fighters have expressed interest, Ellerbe confirmed the financial math doesn't currently work. "Tank's not taking a pay cut to make someone else rich," he stated bluntly. This reality check underscores boxing's central dilemma. The sport's biggest stars command such massive purses that only the most lucrative events make economic sense.
Was there any talks at all with Team Haney after both of their last fights in April and May? You know, just because after both of their fights, their schedules were cleared and they're the two top lightweights.
And as I would say, some of those fights aren't ready at the moment. That's the best way to put it. Some of those fights aren't ready at the moment. And I think you can read between the lines. And one thing I do know, Tank Davis is not going to be taking no pay cut to do anything. He's the boss. So, again, is that all those guys are terrific fighters. I ain't got to call their names. They all are terrific fighters. They fight their behind off, but at the end of the day, Tank's that.
Davis has openly stated his desire to retire, citing dissatisfaction with various aspects of the sport. He has referred to boxing as garbage and expressed a wish to step away from the spotlight. Instead, he wants to focus on personal pursuits and spend more time with his family. His remarks highlight the mental and emotional toll that professional boxing can have on athletes.
25 is after next year, I'm out of it.
After our second fight. You're out of it?
Yeah.
Care to elaborate on that?
Out of the sport.
After our second fight. Nah, no, I'm gonna win, bro.
Nah, I could tell you my fights.
Beyond his boxing career, Davis has shown little interest in mentoring or promoting young fighters. When asked about signing prospects for GTD Promotions, he declined, emphasizing his decision to completely distance himself from the sport. This response makes it clear that he intends to disengage from boxing-related activities after retirement.
Retiring. What changed? What made this shit trash, garbage?
If you got the opportunity to sign a prospect for GTD, who will be?
Gervonta, something should have happened during this time, because when I saw you at the Frank Martin press conference, it looked like you were like the talks about retirement was not even discussed at this moment, and now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously what you've done through boxing since you were a kid and everything? Where's Calvin Ford? Is Calvin Ford and Leonard Ellerbe usually they're around to?
You think you might be gaining love for it though? You never know. Like say you got a squawk today.
From the beginning, Davis has expressed a desire for a secluded life away from public attention. He has mentioned plans to live in isolation, suggesting that he seeks peace and privacy after spending years in the spotlight. His sentiments reflect the challenges of fame and the longing for a more tranquil existence.
How I'm going, I'm trying to get so much out of this shit and get away from it. Like, I have a house on an island, y'all won't see me again, type shit. Like, that's how I'm trying to beat. I'm trying to beat all this shit, type shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be around this too much longer. I don't even want the spotlight. Y'all can have it.
Following the Lamont Roach fight, fans voiced their displeasure, particularly over Davis's explanation for taking a knee due to grease in his eyes. Some pointed out that female fighters have endured similar situations without taking such action, leading to further criticism and boos from the crowd during the event.
Fight fans listening to the moment, Tank Davis says that grease got into his eye, which made him take that knee in round 9, and then listen in as the fans immediately turn on Tank and start booing him. I have one question for Tank. Tank, we have female boxers. I couldn't find any evidence of them taking a knee.
I just got my hair done 2 days ago and she put grease in my shit, so the shit was like, you know, like when you sweating and things like that and the grease come in my face, it burnt my eyes type shit. Damn, why y'all booing like I'm saying bullshit? Like, this is real facts.
Davis has spoken about his need to focus on himself and explore interests beyond boxing. He has hinted at other endeavors he wishes to pursue, signaling a shift in priorities as he prepares for life after the sport. Such introspection is common among athletes nearing the end of their careers.
So, you see a lot of athletes announce retirement and then come back, or announce retirement and then don't retire. How realistic is this?
It's real.
Has it changed? Have you have you had any thoughts like, maybe I was tripping a bit?
Yeah, I do be having them thoughts.
Yeah.
But it's also too, I want to get myself together though.
Which is much more important.
Yeah, I really want to get myself together, like not retire, but take a break, you know. But the only thing is, I don't really want to do is like other stuff I need to work on, you know, like being more there for my kids, going to school, you know, just building myself up as a person, you know what I mean, as a great human being. That's what I'm focusing on.
When asked about fulfilling pending high-profile fights that fans are eager to see, Davis reiterated his intention to retire soon. He emphasized his focus on personal matters, suggesting that boxing is no longer his main priority. This stance has sparked speculation among fans and analysts about the legacy he will leave behind.
How soon is it going to be before you're done? Because on several occasions, it's almost like you're alluding to, you only have but so many fights left. You're looking to walk away from the game. How close are you to that, being undefeated and unblemished with some big fights out there for you to get?
It's close, for sure. It just, I don't know, it's a little draining. I just want to step back for a little bit and just focus on me personally. You know, I feel like I've been doing this for some time now, and I just want to give myself a break and focus on just me as a human being, me as a father, me as a son, and things like that.
Fellow boxer Rolly Romero has downplayed Davis's punching power, claiming that his knockout victories are primarily due to facing smaller opponents. Romero's comments add to the ongoing debate about Davis's choice of opponents and the legitimacy of his success in the ring.
He was getting his ass whooped the whole time until what he says, he said to himself he threw a lucky shot. He said he didn't set up, he just threw it.
The shot that I threw, it wasn't really hard. I caught him coming in, knew he was going to come in eventually because he wanted to hit me so hard, and I just got out the way at the same time.
And he walked off. He really didn't realize what had happened. You playing a game of chess, right? You know, you're pushing, right? Like, bro, you got this dude checkmated, right? You got him checkmated like 4 or 5 moves, right? You leave your back rank open, boom, and you get backmated, right?
Fans are growing increasingly frustrated with what they see as Davis's strategy of choosing less challenging opponents. Once considered the face of boxing, his recent fight selections have led many to question his legacy. Critics argue that he is avoiding tougher matchups and instead fighting smaller competitors, fueling accusations of cherry-picking to protect his undefeated record while avoiding real risks in the ring.
Gervonta Tank Davis, you're supposed to be the face of boxing. Canelo is taking people from other networks and bringing them over to the PBC. It seemed that side of the street shit don't matter when it comes to Canelo. Canelo took Berlanga from the zone and brought the man over to the PBC. How come Gervonta Tank Davis can't go over there and get William Zepeda and take him over to the PBC? Bro, Tank, we need 4 fights in a row with no tune-ups. We need 4 fights in a row with no tune-ups. No tune-ups. From this point on, we need no fucking tune-ups. No tune-ups, bro. We need heavy hitters from this point on. We need T.O., Devin, Shakur. We at least need them 3. Keyshawn Davis, who else? Floyd Schofield.
Despite his accomplishments, some analysts and fans believe Davis's undisputed status is misleading. They argue that while he has dominated his opponents, many of them have been significantly smaller or less skilled. His reputation as a devastating puncher is now under scrutiny, with critics questioning whether he could maintain the same level of dominance against top-tier fighters in his weight class.
I'm wondering why people are always searching and looking for who Tank's next opponent is. Mr. Rehydration Clause, Mr. ain't gonna never be undisputed in his career. Mr. 31-0 ain't even been unified yet. But y'all out here wondering who Tank gonna fight next. It ain't gonna be nobody with some skills who could possibly beat him, I tell y'all that. Y'all see how they acting about the Teofimo fight. They don't even want to talk about that. They saying nobody can F with Tank. But the people we want to see who can F with Tank, they never make the fight happen. Ain't that crazy? Everybody, when it's time for them to fight a Shakur, a T.O., they'll fight Devin right now. Devin want a big fight. Devin want a title. Come back and get him a belt. Well, that's at 135, but fight Devin at 140. He coming off a loss. He ain't got confidence right now. I don't know why y'all sit up and wait for this boy to cherry pick another opponent, because that's all he do, fight fighters that can't have no chance of.
Veteran boxer Gary Russell Jr. has openly criticized Davis, claiming that the new generation of boxing is getting weaker. Russell argues that Davis is not facing the best competition available, which he believes is contributing to the sport's decline. He also pointed out that Davis was repeatedly hit by Mario Barrios, a fighter he does not consider particularly strong, raising concerns about Davis's defensive abilities against elite opponents.
Barrios, I don't want to disrespect him, but you know he's definitely a fighter. But shit, I can't really say that because he was beating Tank. He was honestly beating Tank. I'm pretty sure that he was the easier of all of the other champions that's up at that weight division.
Taylor's the only one. Taylor's the undisputed.
Exactly. They ain't go at him. They're going to pick something that's a little lighter that they think they can do. And even with it being a little lighter, they almost got the short end of the stick. It almost bit him in the ass. He had to go out there and pull that out. If he wouldn't have, he would have lost that fight.
Davis's fight against Lamont Roach further fueled doubts about his dominance. Many expected an easy knockout victory, but Roach, despite moving up 2 weight classes, proved to be a much tougher opponent than anticipated. He exposed weaknesses in Davis's performance, leading some to argue that Davis's past fights were against weaker competition. The fact that Davis failed to secure a knockout has intensified scrutiny over his true skill level. Whether he extends his career to silence the doubters or proceeds with his retirement remains to be seen. One thing is certain, his next move will significantly impact how he is remembered in boxing history.
This is a guy that virtually nobody is asking for him to fight yet again in Lamont Roach. A guy that's moving from 130 to 135. A guy that has a belt at 130, but he still fight Gervonta Tank Davis for his WBA strap that he don't even deserve. But that's neither here nor there. Now, my opinion on this fight, this is another cherry pick. This is just Tank doing Tank things. There's nothing to get mad about. There's nothing to get upset about. We know that Tank is a fraud. That's why I call him Abdul Fraheed. Protected fighters in the sport today. Supposed to be the new quote-unquote face of boxing. Supposed to be the cash cow. With so many people clamoring for a fight with Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Floyd Schofield Jr., Abdullah Mason. Supposed to be the A side. Your side is supposed to send contracts. Gervonta Tank Davis said, fuck all that. I'm gonna fight this guy that nobody wanna see me fight. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I am numb to it. I'm not gonna get mad. I'm not gonna get upset. It is what it is, because at the end of the day, as long as Tank is doing all these live gates, 100K to 300K pay-per-view buys, this man has zero incentive on fighting anybody to work.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates next time.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more exciting videos, make sure to hit the bell icon and stay updated. Subscribe to Boxing Hub now for all the latest in boxing.